What's going on? Me and one of my buddies was having this conversation about like ancient historical stuff, and he was telling me all this stuff about Mambusa, some black dude from Africa from back in the day. But we were sitting there, man, having this long discussion just about like all kinds of historical stuff, and we were just like totally chiming in on one another, man, and like everything. There wasn't one thing that we said, man, that we both didn't identify with, and expound on like with enthusiasm, and it was freaking awesome. But it got my freaking brain, or my gears turning in my brain too. That this is a very like this could get me in some like race trouble by even talking this kind of talk. But what's funny is like Ephraim, I was thinking about it today, and they said I heard these like real pro black style people saying how Ephraim's a cake not turned, and it's half black and half white. It's like a cake, like if you bake something like a bread cake, and if you only cook it on one side, the bottom half won't be the same color as the top. And I got to thinking about it, in the pie that I seen, actually it wasn't black and white. See, that's what they were saying too. It's from this paradigm aspect, as if everything's black and white. Either if you ain't white, then you're black, but you ain't black, so you must be white. And there's all of us type of people like in the middle somewhere that are like, man, this is irritating to have to hear this again. And I've seen it argued from both sides. Like, it's really crazy. But actually, the cake that I seen, on one side it was brown, and on the bottom half it was actually yellow. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, they say that the yellow people are the people of Asia, and the brownish people, normally the people who claim the most brownie of a like totem color, is the Spanish people of Mexico area, of that ethnicity. But it basically falls under the natives too were kind of a brownish color, but they were described as red, and the Asians are described as yellow, and Europeanish looking are white, and then Africa are black. And it's also was written on the side of a pyramid. I seen this in a Trey Smith video, that during the time of the flood it showed that, or during the time when they were building the pyramid or something, but it had hieroglyphs, and it had those 5 different types of people there, so that black versus white paradigm it's totally inaccurate, because it's bigger than that. It's more diverse than that. And that's what some people are so stuck in it. It's like my pride of hate towards this other group actually blinds me from seeing the whole picture. That, wait, there's people all over the place, and they're in this too. And here's where I'm going to go about this with, is like, I keep seeing people from a few generations ago, like pictures of my family. I've even seen pictures of other people's family, and I'm like, man, they got I call it the Geronimo gene, which is a weird look. You can look at pictures of Geronimo. He had a strange looking face, like big jaw, really piercing eyes. He was really dark. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, the Indians have this kind of like eye shape that isn't Asian, but it looks kind of close to Asian. And even some Indians might, in certain lights, almost look kind of Asian, but the eyes aren't the same, but they're similar anyway. All right, look. But where I'm going with this Asian thing, okay, the yellow, cake not turned, freaking, you see these Eskimos, and there's most certainly an Asianish, but more like from Mongolia style looking of an Asian, not a main Asian like Japan or freaking Thailand or freaking China. Strange, like they're weird looking. They got the Geronimo gene, kind of, you can trace this. The Aborigines have traces of the Geronimo gene. You know what I'm saying? I see that about the Aborigines, that, like, look, they actually almost look like black people with white almost characteristics. Like, they look similar. It's strange. They're strange looking people, but and I don't mean that in a offensive or derogatory way. I just mean to be, because no one else on the planet looks like them. But that's what I mean by it. So it's nothing, I don't mean it in a negative fashion. It's just, they're so particular that, like, look, it's hard not to notice. They're like, what the heck is that? It's just strange. I don't know, maybe that was bad to say. It doesn't look as African of a face feature. Like Africans, look, some of them, like African jungle dudes that are really tall with bald heads. They got long limbs, long coney looking heads, man. And I mean, like, they look longer than everyone else, and they almost look like a gray alien. Sorry, you know, if that's offensive. I don't mean it that way. I'm just saying it kind of looks similar to that, and it's just like, not trying to be derogatory or anything about that neither. But you got the Eskimos who got an Asian look. It's like, but it's like on the scale, it'd be like a, maybe, yeah, there's not much, I don't know, it's different from African. But it seems where there's an overcross between Aborigine and the American and South American Aborigine as well. That's what it looks like to me for some reason. It just seems like, especially when you look in South America, you have some jungle natives that are tribes and loincloths, and they basically look, you look at them and they got a little, they look kind of Asian, like really Asian in a way. You know, this has kind of got me like, they say, from what I understand, look, people think the Indians came over here in one group. It's not true. You got Eskimos coming down through Canada. You know what I'm saying? You got the people on, like, towards the Caribbean and the islands and stuff. They're moving in up from the south. You got people like the Polynesians who made it to the islands in the Pacific there. You don't think they could hop over to South America or California or Canada? You know what I'm saying? If they already made it that far to them islands in the first place, right? And the Polynesians, I see they got real big head, real big jawbone, which is similar to the Geronimo gene. You know what I'm saying? My grandmother had the Geronimo gene. Like, in certain pictures, she looked like, people said, "Who's that, Geronimo?" And, you know, she used to take that so offensive. But I understand now why people would say it. Because it's really distinct, and you can see it. Look, my Aunt Beth, same thing. In certain lights, when she scrunched up her face, like if she was mad, she made this certain face, and then a certain light and a certain angle, for a second she looked like freaking Geronimo. It's the Geronimo gene. And, you know, and I could see that. I see that Geronimo gene in the, like, the big Asians, like the desert looking Asians, like, but not the other ones. But look, you know, you got them Aborigines right there outside of, like, I think Thailand's the closest thing to over in that area. You know what I'm saying? That's like a land. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of weird. And I think somehow from that area too, you could almost island hop maybe back into the bottom of South America. I'm not sure. You know, it's like, look, I have to go look at the globe every once in a while and refresh for myself to get my bearings straight. But for the most part, you know, I know. And you know what I meant, even if I didn't say it quite right. I do that a lot. But it's interesting to see that Asian component to it, and because most people won't look at it. It's like, maybe they don't want people to know that maybe there was an Asian migration here to America as well. Not only island hoppers and Eskimos and stuff, but and even colonies from Africa, because I've seen this theory of this dude saying that you could see an African hieroglyph on South American monument, and then a South American dude leader on an African hieroglyph. So it's like, there's something they're hiding from us. It was more like clockwork. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't random. You know, as history tells you.